Well, hello there and welcome to Cityline. We're zooming from my kitchen into your home, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be with you. Later on in the hour, we'll be talking with Dominique and Rachel from Safe Streets. As our neighborhoods start to open up again, they're going to be talking about what we can expect and also a couple of events that they have coming up. Tacoma City Ballet will be here talking about one of their brand new productions, so you don't want to miss that. The Humane Society of Tacoma and Pierce County will be here. Julie will have our pet of the week, so if you are someone who is looking for a forever home, you want to definitely stay tuned for that. And then with me now are three individuals that are here to talk about the Pierce Transit Waterwall project. Please join me in welcoming Rebecca Jafet. She is the Communications Manager of Pierce Transit.
Thank you.
You brought with you artist Ryan Feddersen. Hello, Ryan, and welcome to Cityline.
Amanda, thanks for having me.
Great to have you. And this man who, last time I saw him, truly, he was dropping a bottle of champagne off on my porch. Do I have great neighbors or what? We're talking hello to Michael LIANG, Director of Spaceworks Tacoma. Welcome back, Michael.
Thanks so much, Amanda. Great to be here.
It's just great to see all of you here. So, Rebecca, tell us about Pierce Transit's Waterwall project.
Sure. Pierce Transit, actually, our main downtown Tacoma transit hub is right in the heart of downtown at Commerce and between 9th and 11th Street. And it's a facility that the public doesn't see a lot of because a lot of it's behind the scenes. So it includes a tunnel where the buses drive through, and that's their turnaround. It also has an employee break area, so a bus driver can take a break on their route, use the restroom, grab lunch, that kind of thing. And then, of course, there's a transit center there, and 17 Pierce Transit routes serve that transit center, as well as some sound transit routes. And then it includes something called the Waterwall, which was for many years a water feature. It's just a very large concrete structure that is built into the wall, and it also has a walkway on it from the area along Commerce up to Theater Square and Broadway. So it was all built in 1993, and so it's aging. And we're right in the middle of major renovations to it. So we're doing some waterproofing on the roof of the bus tunnel because water was leaking from up above, working on the employee break area, replacing the HVAC, the lighting. And then unfortunately, we had to decommission the water wall. It was leaking into the facility, and it was just too old. We couldn't get parts for it anymore. So it was sitting there, just not looking so great. But the area is really important to us, the vibrancy of this area, and especially our customers spend a lot of time there. And, downtown Tacoma is a big part of who we are as well. So we partnered with the City of Tacoma to commission an artist to turn the water wall into just a beautiful work of art. And that's what's happening right now.
Ah, how beautifully teed off to our artist here. Ryan, tell us about the artwork, Mini-Tahoma.
Thanks. So Mini-Tahoma is a multi-part public art installation that transforms the now dry water wall into a set of kind of artificial waterfalls. It symbolically brings back the water to this kind of giant cement space, reclaiming it symbolically for nature, and referencing set design in this kind of space that you can enter that looks like going into another place.
I love that. So, Michael, as a member of the selection committee, I've been on selection committees before when I've had to pick one out of just a perfect selection. What are some of the elements of the artwork that you connect with?
I think, first of all, Ryan has such a playful approach to her work, and thematically, it's such a smart reinterpretation of the original water fountain, and it's this connection back to our natural history in a very urban environment. And then technically, I love the sense of scale that she plays with. I often park at Park Plaza North, the parking structure across the street, and that's actually the best place to see a whole panoramic view of the artwork. But also, it works well in the small scale, in the details. And I imagine if you are waiting for a bus, you're going to have plenty to explore in that space.
Oh, You know, when you're talking, I'm thinking about that phrase, love is in the details. And to know where to park to get the best view is an excellent detail, I have to say. So, Ryan, for you, what were some of the inspirations for Mini-Tahoma?
So the primary two inspirations were one, Tahoma Glacier. When thinking about this space as an entry point from people arriving to Tacoma, since this is where the buses come in, I wanted it to be identity setting. And so thinking about kind of our natural abundance and our natural monuments with the mountain, for one. And so I wanted to think about specifically Tahoma Glacier as being one of the sources of that abundance, the glaciers feeding the life here. And so I thought that this was also a fun way to bring the water back to this space. All of these basins kind of just felt wrong dry. And so I wanted to bring that symbolically back. We also used glass in the basins to kind of emphasize this artificial space. Being on Theater Square, I was thinking about set design and how you can use paint and kind of two-dimensional sculptures and light to create the aesthetic of a deeper space. I was also thinking a lot about plateau embroidery at the time, and which is reflects my own cultural heritage. Sorry, we have an interruption. More animals. So I was thinking a lot about the color palette and the kind of way to look at graphics and bringing some of those indigenous design methodologies forward in the space. These floral vignettes are also referencing indigenous plants that have a focus on kind of strength, sustenance, health, this idea of medicinal plants kind of healing and renewing this space. I did also have a lot of fun playing with scale with them. So instead of kind of realistic plants, you'll have a giant leaf that might be 8 feet long. And because this space is so large, it seemed really ripe for that kind of scale play.
Ryan, when you talk about your art, do you know what your face does? It just lights up. And the whole time that you are talking, I'm thinking about your sketches. I'm thinking about the journaling you must have done. I'm thinking about pictures. It's no doubt in my mind they picked the right artist for this. Rebecca, what can the public expect from this space once it opens up?
Sure. Well, we're hoping a more vibrant and alive space. I don't know if the public knows this as well, but Pierce Transit not only owns the facility down on Commerce, but we also own the space above the bus tunnel, which is, we all know as Theater Square. So because we're kind of a major partner in downtown, it's very important to us to make sure it's a vibrant area. So we were part of something recently called the Theater District Placemaking Project, which really created a vision for this part of downtown Commerce and Theater Square area. Of course, the Waterwall was part of that, and so we're excited about what's happening there. In addition to the work we're doing on Commerce, Pierce Transit is making some major improvements to Theater Square. So we're removing some overgrown plantings, we're removing some planters, putting new plantings in. We took out some of the grassy area to create a really more functional multi-use plaza area. So now that that's done, we have just partnered with Tacoma Arts Live, and that group is going to be scheduling and managing events on Theater Square. So that's great for us because we're a transit company and that is not our first mission, but Tacoma Arts Live is going to do a great job with that. So with that change and the work on Theater Square and then the Waterwall and the other work at Commerce, we are really expecting a more vibrant and activated space in this part of downtown.
Pierce Transit has done a great job of surrounding themselves with greatness when it comes to this project. They truly have. Michael, Spaceworks does a lot of work near the Waterwall. What projects are you working on in the area?
Yeah, so as a reminder, Spaceworks is a program of the Chamber, and for over 10 years, we've provided art and entrepreneurship in kind of unexpected urban spaces like this transit corridor. And as Rebecca mentioned, we were part of that Transform the Theater District kind of creative placemaking project. And so we really just we like to center a lot of our projects there. So we've got the Woolworth window installations. We had the 950 gallery, an art gallery that has since closed, and we were moving it to a new location yet to be determined. There is a temporary mural of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg that Nora Kimura did. We have 2 new permanent murals that are going up by Speak Thunder Barry and father and son team, Peter and Ara Quinn Boom, that will be also going in near the Park Plaza North area. And then Spaceworks itself is hosting a alumni showcase on Friday, August 20th. It's a secret downtown location yet to be determined. So hit us up on social media to find out more on that. And so again, just trying to activate as much as we can downtown. And all this concentration of art and activity really build off of each other and benefit literally tens of thousands of people who pass through this transit corridor.
I love that. I just love that. Ryan, the Waterwall doesn't sleep. It's a 24-hour space, and buses don't stop running when the sun goes down. We know that to be true. How did you consider how that space would feel and look at nighttime? Because water reflects its surroundings.
Yeah, there's a couple of special features that were designed for the nighttime experience. I'm also very interested in the ways that you can use action in artwork. And so besides thinking about like how a person traverses the space, I wanted to have some kind of like surprise activation. And so the waterfalls are all coated with a reflective paint that embeds tiny lenses into medium that then kind of reflect back the light. So as you're walking through the space or as buses are passing through with their headlights, you might see these kind of like glimmering pops, or in bright sunlight, they're actually a little hard to look at. You can kind of see this reflectivity and brightness in the waterfall spaces. Additionally, with the lighting, I wanted to think about the way that colored light can affect paint. And so there are some vignettes that are going to be lit with LED lighting that will shift color throughout kind of like slow over a couple of minutes. And it will interact with the paint in a way that might make areas of the foliage look like they're receding or popping, adding this effect of motion or rustling. I also have this feature on the sun moon. During the day, I wanted to kind of like break the plane of the water wall. And so there's this bright yellow sun that is kind of cantilevered over the highest basin, looking as if it might just tip into the space. And during the day, it's the sun, but at night, it'll be lit in a way where if you add yellow and kind of like a cyan color, they cancel each other out. And so it can be lit to look white like the moon. And so I love this idea of it being one thing during the day and the lighting turning it into something else at night. I also lit the work less like art and more like landscape. I liked the idea that at night it might look even more like a set of waterfalls and kind of like a mountain bridge traversing the space.
Wow, if that's not enough to encourage people to come and experience artwork and be in the downtown area, Michael, what more would you add to that?
I mean, like the great thing about downtown Tacoma is that there's so many things to do. So I would just invite people to pair visiting the Waterwall with any number of experiences, such as the Tacoma Farmers Market on Thursdays on Broadway. There's a new concert series that the Downtown Tacoma Partnership is launching on Wednesdays in the month of August. And then, of course, there's all the local businesses and restaurants that you can support that are open, and you can enjoy, a great meal and then walk around downtown to walk off all the calories that you had, and your dessert. But really, like, I think if people only experience downtown in passing, either on I-5 or the 705, you're really missing, the details and that sense of discovery that you can experience if you're on foot, or I guess on transit as well.
Absolutely. And Rebecca, as we close here, tell us, when will the site be open to the public, and then what is the best way to visit it?
Sure. So we are planning the Waterwall to be open to the public by early August at the latest. So the fencing will be down, and we really encourage folks. We would encourage people to ride by bus to get there, or light rail to the Commerce Street Transit Center, and then you can see the Waterwall, and then take that ramp up and do the farmers market or one of the performances that are going to be there, or just for fun anytime. We're just excited to have people back downtown again.
I was just thinking, I'm just so excited to have that space activated again. It's just like it's happening. So thank you to all three of you and your teams that don't fit in the Zoom square, because there's many that couldn't make it for this interview. Thank you for all that you do and for the beauty that you have brought to downtown Tacoma. And Ryan, keep wearing shades, babe, because your future is bright.